Hello everyone.
Morning, morning, morning. Morning, morning, morning. Morning, morning. Morning, morning.
Really good to see you all. Thank you very much for coming. Obviously we know that there's a serious topic on the agenda, so that's absolutely fine. We're here to answer questions as best we can on that. We do not have the full details yet. I'm sure Thomas will explain. So we appreciate you've got to ask. I hope you appreciate that we might not be able to answer all your questions, and all we do ask is you don't keep asking the same question over and over again. We do have training in a bit. Football match is only 28 hours away, so we do have to play that rather than sitting here for that time. But we'll answer as best we can. Yeah, I'd say also a football match to talk about. Usual drill from us. We'll start with Jeremy from Sky, then Niv from PLP. We've got two other camera crews here if they'd like to go at that point under immediate embargo. We'll do an embargoed section for the newspapers. Saturday newspapers will be 10:30 p.m. embargo. We'll make it clear when that's about to start. Are all our cameras happy? In that case, we'll go with Jeremy from Sky.
Hey Thomas, so Ivan Toney banned for 8 months, can't train with you until September. It's a massive sanction. Is it fair, and what's your response?
The response is that two things, of course. I think it's sad for Ivan. In terms of the fairness and the response and the reply to that, we need to wait for the written reasons before I know the full details. I can't really judge or comment too much on that. We will definitely come back to that and be willing to answer questions. But because we don't have the full picture, I don't think I really can go into details about that.
So you can't say yet whether you'll appeal this?
I can't say anything about that. We just want to know a little bit more with full details before we have further in-depth comments to it.
Do you know what it means for Ivan initially? Obviously, he can't train with you now until September. Is he banished from Jersey Road? What does it mean for him now?
Very good question. We actually don't know. I think, what is it, yesterday or was it the day before?
Yeah,
So we are, of course, searching for or waiting for the information, so we know what we can do, how we can approach him, what he's allowed to do, especially the first 4 months. One thing is for sure, we'll do everything we can to be there for him, support him, beware of the mental health in it. Of course, he's done some mistakes, but we need to be there and want to be there for him and help him. We just need to know what we are allowed to do.
Have you spoken to Gareth Southgate at all, and what do you think this means for his England career? Because it's a hammer blow to that too, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but I haven't spoke to Gareth about it. Yeah.
It gives you a 20-goal problem as well, doesn't it? 20-goal Premier League strikers don't come around so often. Does that mean now that you go into the market? I mean, what does it mean too for his future with Brentford?
His future is with Brentford. That's the thing. There's no doubt about that. The thing is that instead of a problem, I like to call it a challenge. We were, for various reasons, prepared for what will happen if someone in the front line will leave us. And that's why we are very keen on signing Sade in January window. So now we have 4 players that clearly can play the front three. Sometimes we play with 2, sometimes we play with 3. In Sade, Brian, Wissa, and Keane Lewis Potter. Plus we have Justice Silva that can play to the side. Plus we have Dams that can play to the side. So we actually think that we in-house have some good replacement in Wissa and Kevin Sade. We actually spoke about it after the game against West Ham. Every single time that Wissa have to step up, he scores. So he scored against Liverpool when he stepped in instead of Ivan. He scored against West Ham when he had to step in instead of Ivan. Hopefully he'll score again tomorrow when he step in instead of Ivan. And I think that Kevin Sade probably definitely as good down the middle as he is to the side. Of course he's young. Regarding what we do in the summer, we don't know yet. That's something we need to consider if it's enough with the 4 we have.
He says he's naturally disappointed, which sounds like a bit of an the statement, you must be devastated. I mean, what's he been saying to you?
No, of course I've been in contact with him in a way. No, first and foremost, of course, he's disappointed and sad about the situation. But sometimes when you're waiting for you're waiting for what is the sanction going to be, so that uncertainty is probably the worst thing. Now at least we know what it looks like.
Thomas, there's the wider issue here too, isn't there, about gambling and football, because it appeared he had a betting problem, and obviously there are big links between betting in the game and advertising. What would you say about that, and how big is this problem?
There's no. I think there's. I think gambling in general, not only in the game or the one involved in the game that maybe is gambling too much. I don't know how many and how big the problem is, but I think in general there's a gambling issue we need to be aware of in the society. And I said before, I think it is a challenge, me personally, that all the advertising for gambling done by clubs, individuals in the game, I think that's an issue for me.
Does he still have an issue with gambling, or has he had help with it?
I don't know if he. I think it's a. When do we have an issue with gambling? Well, I think we are judging something on some situations. I don't know exactly what is a gambling problem and who is to judge that. So I don't know actually if he got that. I know there's been these situations, but I guess I don't know exactly on that question, if I'm totally honest.
Just finally from me, is this fair on Brentford? Because looking at the dates that are involved here, from Feb 2017 to Jan 2021, only a small part of it, actually relates to when he was at Brentford. Is this fair on Brentford, would you say, when a lot of the time span was actually when Tony was at the clubs?
I'm more the kind of person. It is what it is. We need to deal with it. We every single time for whatever reason we have mostly if we sell a player or a big injury, we manage it and we deal with it and we find a replacement. And many of the situations inside the club, and hopefully we'll do the same again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Niv.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi. Morning.
Team news, please. Had a weekend.
Ivan is out. Besides that situation, he couldn't play anyway. He got a hamstring injury, so he wouldn't have been available for the game today or for City actually, unfortunately. Besides that, Strakosha is back in the team, which is good news, and he's been out, but also because which we think is the right decision for Matthew Cox to send him to the Under-21 World Cup. Fantastic experience for him, and hopefully that can be stepping stones in his development. Besides that, I think everyone available from last game is available again.
Is it fair to say that following the decision regarding Ivan Toney, that's the biggest challenge you face as a club since your Premier League promotion?
Yeah, it's a different challenge. I think it's talking about what happened now or going further. Okay, going forward. I don't know if it's the biggest, but of course, I think, like Jeremy said before, how do you replace 20 goals? That's the challenge. And Ivan is a proven goal scorer. We had a similar situation in Championship where we had to replace 25 goals in Championship with Neil Maupay, and we didn't buy a striker. We just converted or transformed Ollie Watkins from being a winger to a 9, and he then scored 28 goals. So maybe we can do that with Wissa or Kevin, and they score 21 goals. We never know. Of course, it's a challenge, but it's a challenge we're up for. Plus, we know that as a football coach, you need to be adaptable. You need to be ready to adjust and touch wood. Sometimes you get injury to some of your key players, and sometimes they're out for 8 months with a ACL, and you need to find a player in the squad that can step up and change the dynamic.
During challenging times like this, do you see it mainly as a personal leadership required from your point of view, or how, as a club, you can respond and give everyone a lift in terms of the spirit?
So in this situation, about Ivan or the rest about Ivan? I think it's definitely a personal leadership. I think for me, for the club, that we can do everything we can to make sure that he is in a good place. I think in life, we all make mistakes. Some make bigger mistakes. Some who are we to judge that? We're definitely very good, especially in the football world. So if anyone step over the line, no matter how small or big it is, we are good to judge it. But we need to, and that have a consequence, and that it is what it is. But I think we need to be aware of the mental health in this. I think Ivan is a footballer, but he's also a human being that have family, a partner, young children, a mom and dad, siblings, friends, and he's been on the front pages quite a lot the last year or something like that. So we need to do everything we can to support him in that aspect.
Let's talk about tomorrow's game.
Thank you, a football question. Thank you.
Okay. What would a win tomorrow would mean to your fans, especially after the news they recently?
That will, of course, means a lot. We are going there. We know Tottenham is a huge club, massive team, fantastic players. So we know it's going to be a challenge, but yeah, we believe in ourselves. We're in a good place, and we will do our very best to try to get 3 points.
Finishing potentially above Fulham and Chelsea as the West London side with the highest amount of points, that's another motivation push, isn't it?
Definitely. I think we have said from the beginning of the season that determination to do everything we can to end as high as possible, and we definitely had a lot of things to play for in the last 2 games, and it's about getting all the energy out there and final push. Because if you lose that, then I think you are a little bit. It's not the same that we're just going to win them. They're pretty good, the 2 teams we're going to face, but the performance needs to be up there, and I think that shows a lot about the culture if you can go out and perform again.
You finished last season with 46 points, 13th in the table. Do you think that if you win both games, Spurs now sitting next will be with 59 points, potentially European football next season is an option?
I think we need to start to see if we can win on Saturday. Then we can discuss if that option is on for the last game, and then I'll be more than happy to talk about that. So the thing we are focusing on is do everything we can to win tomorrow.
Where's Alex from the BBC next?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Thomas. Just speaking about Ivan and the issue of betting in football, does the sports authorities, do they have to take some responsibility as well?
I don't know the full details of how much support or education the authorities do. I know, of course, the Premier League, the FA, there's a lot of initiative in place that they try to educate people out there, and I think that's the key thing. I think education is the key thing. I think across the world, education is the number one thing if you want to change a culture, change a mindset, and that take a lot of hard work and a lot of patience.
I know you said Ivan wouldn't have been fit for this weekend. I'm just wondering what you thought of the timing of the ban with just 2 games to go.
Yeah, I don't know. We knew they were hearing. We knew there would most likely be some sort of ban. I think on top of my head it's more okay. Get it done. Now we know it. Move forward. Yeah.
Okay. know what you're expecting from the written reasons? Do you have any insight into that after speaking with Ivan? No.
No, nothing. Of course, I have a little. I've been kept in the loop kept in the loop by Phil Giles, our sports director. But it's him and the lawyers and Ivan and the lawyers that have been dealing with it. I just try to manage a football team that are playing in the best league in the world, and try to make the team performing. So I don't know enough about those details. But when we know it, as I said earlier, I'll be more than willing to come with our thoughts and comments on the ban.
We saw yesterday's story that the FA is going to apply the ban globally. Was there any thoughts from inside the club that maybe Ivan could have gone on loan somewhere outside of the country?
No, actually, no. Yeah.
Dan from ITV.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask, you said that you've spoken to Ivan. How is he?
He's okay. Pretty sure he expected some sort of ban. So I think, as I said before, it's more okay. Now he knows the full consequence of sanction, and then it's maybe easier to deal with. The uncertainty is always that little worrying thing, I think, for all of us. So now it's done, and he's got a very good mindset of, okay, it is what it is, and then move forward.
Can I also ask, are you confident that Ivan is the only player in the club that is affected by this, that could have been gambling? Is that something that you've been then looking at, given that you've discovered this about Ivan?
I think we are pretty confident that all our players, including Ivan, are good people, good players, good values. I think, like with everyone in society, you only know them 95%. You don't know exactly what's happening outside, but I think we have a pretty good feeling of everyone in the squad.
So you feel confident that nobody else is gambling within Brentford football?
Feeling comfortable, but I learned in football you can never be 100%.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything for a media embargo, Jay?
Yes, just a couple more from me, if that's okay. Hi Thomas, hope you're good. I just wanted to know, has Ivan had the opportunity to actually speak to his teammates about what's happened since the ban was announced?
I don't know, because we got it Tuesday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday afternoon, and we were off yesterday, so probably not. I guess they have been in contact with him if I know them well enough. There's a good connection, friendship, culture among inside the group.
My next question was going to be about if the teammates had offered him support, but you kind of answered that, so we're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else immediately? Yes.
Hi Thomas.
Hi.
You're relieved to know this is not Ivan related, it's more related to you. So yesterday the nominees for the Premier League Manager of the Season were announced. Given Brentford's incredible season, do you perhaps feel that it's a little... do you feel... sorry, it's a bit early in the morning.
Just disappointed that I'm not nominated. I think these individual nomination is always a little bit. I understand that I'm sitting here, I need to answer all the questions, but there's a lot of people behind me that are doing an incredible job to make this being a very successful season for us. I think it's more a indicator of how well we have done. We know ourselves that we have had a top season in many ways. I don't know who is in the panel. Apparently they decided that 6 others have done an even better job. But I also think it's a tough task to be in that and take that decision. Personally, I have another coach I think have done incredible, Gary O'Neill from Bournemouth. I think it's fantastic. He also came in a little bit later, like De Serbia and Unai Emery. Not that I think they have done well as well. It's just, but look at the foundation they stood on and the foundation he had. I think he took over when they lost 9-0 at Anfield, and everyone doomed them and said they would be relegated. I think it's incredible work by Gary O'Neill and his staff. So yeah, you're welcome.
Doesn't seem like there's anything else, so we're now going to go under embargo, please. Everything from now on is 10:30 p.m. for the newspapers. I know we've got Martin from the Sun. Would you like to go?